All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Today we are going to talk about how to secure your building in the structure phase, and we do that with chains and straps. Before we get into the show, don't forget we have design services. We design barndominiums, post frame garages, shops all over the country. Email us design at Mr. Postframe. We can help you out. Also, for you self-builders, don't forget to check out our Patreon. It's a group where we talk about self-building topics. We bring on special guests. We do lives. You get to ask me questions. It's a great community of other self-builders where you can share your build process, and it's just an awesome thing to be a part of, so check that out. But let's go ahead and start talking about how we secure our buildings. Alright, so the two things we utilize to secure our buildings when we're building the structure are 1/4 inch chains in 50-foot lengths and 2-inch straps, and I think the Menards version of that strap is 27 feet, which should be good in most cases. You probably can get them in 35-foot length if you need to. But before I take you around a building and show you kind of how we utilize those, let's talk about a couple different types of people. If you are a builder, contractor, I would highly recommend getting a set of chains enough to secure your building. They are stronger, they're more rigid, they are a little bit heavier, but they do a little bit better job. However, if you are a one-time builder, you're just self-building your house, your barn, shop, whatever the case is, 2-inch straps will work. You just might have to use a few more of them. The house I'm standing in front of right now is my own personal build. For those of you who followed me, this is the Mad County build. I built this all with the 2-inch straps, secured it all with the 2-inch straps, and it went through some pretty good storms and held up just fine. Next question I get a lot of is, where do we get these? I buy both the chains and the straps from Menards. We'll leave a link in the description on the exact chains and straps that we use, but you can go on to Menards website, order them, and have them shipped directly to your house. We're going to go ahead and kind of walk you through a build and show you how we utilize them. Flip you around here, and this is a building that we have all framed up except for the porches. We've had to leave this job for unrelated reasons, but we're going to talk about how we strap this thing down. So the first thing we do when we put our trusses up, we put a 2-inch ratchet strap around the truss past the first web. So you can see we have one here and we have one there. So that helps us move our truss into place. And then once we have it in place, we'll just leave that strap attached and we bring it down here to the bottom, wrap it around, and ratchet it tight. And what all of these ratchet straps do, they serve a couple purposes. One, while the building is being built, it helps us prevent movement from side to side and hide winds. But it also helps us to straighten our fascia when we get to that point. Say this column needed to go that way, we could pop that strap loose and then tighten this one, and that will move our truss tail that way, and vice versa. So that's how we use our ratchet straps. And then we use 1/4 inch 50-foot long chains, and we put an X on each wall. So we have one coming from the first column in as far as we can go down to here, and then same thing over here, first column in, and we bring it down. How we hook those is we take a flip over binder, get them both tight, and then you can see right here I have a ratcheting binder, and the reason I have one there is because this wall needed to go that way a little bit. So the way I fine tune that is I just add a ratcheting binder and pull it until this wall is plumb. So we do that on all 4 walls, and these chains are really good at keeping this. They allow a little movement in the building, but if you were to get some really high winds, you can watch this. If the wind was blowing that way, you'd see this chain loosen up a little bit and this one tighten. So it keeps the building from moving around a lot and protects it from falling down. So you can see we have an X on that end, an X on this wall, an X on that wall. I did put a couple extra going from the peak trusses down at an angle just because I knew we weren't going to be on this job a long time, but typically we don't do that unless we're going to experience some really bad storms or high winds. Some things to think about when you're building your structure is how and where am I going to secure my straps to. If you have a smaller structure, you typically can go all the way across your building with a 50-foot chain. However, if you have a really, really big building, 80, 100, 120 feet long, we will utilize dead mans, and you can use dead mans in a couple different forms. You can drill holes and pour piers and just put a rebar in there that you have an access point to hook your chains to. If you do that, we will put one on the inside and outside of each end wall. That allows us to run our chains from each end wall column down to that dead man and give us a place to secure those buildings. When we're all done, we can leave the interior one as it's not going to be a problem. The exterior one we'll pull out and get rid of it. It's a minimal expense and a good way to secure your building. Another way you can do it is you can buy the 2 foot by 2 foot by 6 foot long concrete blocks. They weigh 3,500 pounds. That's a little more difficult to maneuver around if you don't have equipment, but we have utilized those as well. They come with rebar in them that you can attach your chains to. So those are a couple ways that you can secure your building if you don't have anything to attach it. Typically we'll use this on a really large building. On a residence, it's really not necessary. Alright guys, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. It was a short video. Hopefully it was helpful though to those who are getting ready to build and are looking for a way to secure their building and protect it from wind, tornadoes, all that kind of good stuff. If you're at this point, you've worked hard, you've thought a lot about your build, and that the extra few $100s that it would take to get the straps that you need to secure building is very worth it. Gives you a little bit of peace of mind, and it will help you not only keep your building safe, but it'll help you square it up, plumb it up, and do all the things you need to do to get a good quality build. So as always, we appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, share us with your friends, and we will catch you on the next video.